WWE 2K25 has arrived, and today I'm going to show you how to update your universe mode to match real-life WWE TV. First, you want to go to your calendar so you can make some changes to the PLEs. First up is changing the number of matches to 6 across the board for all PLEs except WrestleMania. In real life, it's 5, but the lowest you can have in-game is 6, which resembles close as possible to what it is for WWE. For WrestleMania, you want to put it as 8. This will give you 16 across the 2 days, and should closely match what we will see this coming year. The only one that won't be 6 matches besides Mania is King and Queen of the Ring. It forces you to have 7, so we'll just leave that as is. Besides that, you want to go to Community Creations and download a Crown Jewel PLE template and place that the first Saturday of November with 6 matches as well. If you want to go the extra mile, you can download Saturday Night's Main Event from Community Creations and place that in the months of May, July, and December to match what we should see this coming year. Recently on Raw, we've seen a lot of champion updates, but not reflected in the day 1 update for WWE 2K25. So we want to go ahead and make those changes ourselves. The World Champion should now be Io Sky, the Women's Tag Champs should be Liv and Raquel, and then you unfortunately have to manually add the Women's IC and US Champs, so go ahead and do that for Raw and SmackDown. When it comes to the match tables, sometimes I like to play around and have some fun with them. For WrestleMania specifically, I like to mix it up, have a chance of a Hell in a Cell match, a Last Man Standing match, Extreme Rules matches and such. I also want to make sure we have triple threats and fatal 4-ways on there for championships, as we see those year in and year out, along with those 6 superstar tags and those 8 superstar 4-way tag matches that you usually see for the tag team championships. So it's a lot of fun to go in there and mix it up. You can also have some fun, maybe add an ambulance match we haven't seen in a while, add a casket match, just mix it up, have your fun your way, even if it goes a little bit outside of what we see in WWE TV. When it comes to the match cards for Raw and SmackDown, the base game set is pretty good. I like where it's at for the most part, but every now and again you do see those championship title matches for the mid cards, and you see maybe some street fights, Extreme Rules matches, so I do add those in as well, but with pretty low chances just because it's not incredibly common, at least on the street fight side. We've seen a lot of mid-card title fights, but if you put a championship match, you'll see a lot of them for the world titles, which is not as common, and a lot of people don't really like that, so just for that, I don't keep the chances very high. We're going to go edit our shows now to change the participants. We just saw the transfer window happen, along with a lot of releases, unfortunately, that occurred. But this has caused the roster day 1 to not be close to representing what it is for WWE currently. So first off, we're going to move some superstars around. AJ Styles, Bianca Belair, and Roman Reigns all should be moved over to the Raw brand to reflect what their WrestleMania plans are currently. Then for SmackDown, Alexa Bliss has to be moved there along with Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, and Roxanne Perez. Then there's a long list of cuts that should be removed from the roster. If you want to have fun and use the cut superstars, that's good and all, but if you want to reflect WWE currently, this list on the screen is what you want to take off of the current rosters. Next up, let's make some changes to the faces and heels. AJ Styles, Andrade, and Asuka are all listed as getting booed, when in reality they are now faces, so they should be cheered. Then on the flip side, we have John Cena, Kevin Owens, The New Day, Candice LeRae, Carmelo Hayes, Charlotte Flair, and Raquel Rodriguez, who are now heels and need to be booed by the crowd in-game. We also need to remove managers, as this long list that's on the screen as well all have managers that IRL you do not see any managers for when it comes to WWE TV. So I'm going to make those changes and remove all those managers for these superstars. Then with recent developments, we're going to make some changes to the enemies and allies. Specifically for Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn must now be an enemy and not a manager. Nia Jax must have Tiffany as an enemy, along with Candice LeRae being her new ally. Tiffany Stratton should have Charlotte Flair as her enemy, and then Roxanne Perez should have Bayley as an enemy as well. Then going over to tag teams, unfortunately Liv and Raquel are not a tag team day 1. I think that's because teams are limited to 5 superstars, which unfortunately makes Raquel Rodriguez not in Judgment Day. JD McDonough is her. I took him out of Judgment Day for now and replaced him with Raquel, and then made the subgroup of Liv and Raquel so they can be the tag team champs. Then I also decided to make Dom and Carlito a tag team, even though I have them as solo stars. They could also allow them to then be tag teams and fight for the tag team titles and get tag team matches. Besides that, I got rid of the Unholy Union, as unfortunately the Alba Fire is now a single star with Isla Dawn being released. And that's about it for tag team changes they have to make. Next up, we'll look at the divisions for each title in Raw and SmackDown. For Raw, I have 6 contenders along with their champion Gunther. I have Jey Uso, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Finn Balor. Finn Balor can put anywhere. You can put him along with Dom the tag team division if you want, but I have him right now contending for the world title, just to flesh out that world title scene. Then for the IC, it's massive. Obviously, Braun Breaker's your champion. I have Sheamus, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Ludwig Kaiser, Chad Gable, Karrion Kross, Dragon Lee, Carlito, JD McDonough, and then Ilya Dragunov, who's hurt, but I still have him in the division. Give you 13 contenders. In the tag division, I have What You See, which is in the base game, except Keith Dunn and Tyler Bate. I removed that tag team, so they're not in the contenders. Over in the Women's World Championship contenders, I have Bianca, Rhea, Bayley, and Becky contending for Io's title. For the tag, I left it as the base game, all those 3 contenders with the champs. Then for the Women's IC, you have Dakota Kai, Alba Fire, who's now a solo act, Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, Italia, and Kiana James, who's currently hurt though, all contending for Lyra Valkyria's IC title. Over on SmackDown, if Cody's the champ, then you have John Cena, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Solo Sikoa contending. I debated putting Solo for the US title, but for now I just left him as a world contender. For the US title, we have Shinsuke as the champion, obviously, then LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, The Miz, Braun Strowman, Santos Escobar, Apollo Crews, and R-Truth as the contenders. For the tag titles, I left it as is, as the base game. For the women's WWE title, you have Tiffany Stratton as your champ. Contending is Nia Jax, Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. The tag champs left that as is, as this division is pretty small. For the women's US title, your champion is Chelsea Green, then have Candice LeRae, Roxanne Perez, Michin, Zelina Vega, and B-Fab as your contenders. Next up, you want to go into options. The main thing here you want to take a look at is the cash-ins. The AI announcing cash-ins just does not happen in real life, so I put that at 0 personally. Mid-match cash-ins, I put at 2, along with AI post-match cash-ins. This will give you more likely a cash-in within the first usually 6 months of someone winning the Money in the Bank, which I personally like, as usually if it takes more than 6 months, it kind of gets dragged down. It's like, are you ever going to do it? And it's not as fun to mix up your universe mode with a long cash-in. Also, automatic rivalries I keep on just to allow the game to do what it does, but obviously you as the player can go ahead and make those changes if you want week to week. Tag team breakups and formations, I personally keep them off, as I like to control a good bit of my universe mode, but if you just want to watch universe unfold and not really make any changes, I would say keep it on, as the breakups don't happen too often. I see more often you actually see new tag teams. It may become an issue over time. You have to force some tag team breakups yourself. For me personally, that's why I like it off. Crowd reaction changes, this is a weird one. I keep it off personally and then manually change it for each superstar over time, just because it feels like with these rivalry actions, it changes over time how the crowd feels, and you can see some weird on and off when someone's a heel and 3 weeks later they're a face, back and forth, like Big Show levels. So for me, I don't enjoy that as much. I will manually change it myself, so over time when I see a heel become a heel, face become, stay a face, turn a heel, that type of thing. Injuries I just keep on just because you don't really see them too often, it doesn't really matter. Superstar entrances, I keep them on even though I skip through them most of the time, but I like to keep them on just for when SummerSlam Mania comes up, get that hype of the entrance. Alright, with all these changes, your universe mode should be ready to go day 1 for WWE 2K25 to run your universe mode exactly how it is on WWE TV. With that, I thank you guys for watching. Let me know if there's any other videos you would like to see. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.